Yo, yo, daddy dogs, what's up? And what is Gucci? Sorry, I just wanted to have a better intro this time. But it's Apple Juice Scholars, I guess, here, or it's just AJ, whatever. Not many people enough watch this movie to care, I think. But today we're going to be learning about the switch statement. Now, if this question popped into your head while you were watching the last video, this is the answer to your question. And if your question was, hey, what if I had an if statement and then I also, else if, did I spell that wrong? I did. Else if, and then I had so many else if statements because my condition was so long and it would just suck to type all that out and write all these conditions for all these values that I want. Well, there is something better. Don't worry. There's something better than writing 100 else-if statements. Not that much better, but definitely would be more efficient than writing a million else-if statements. And that is the switch statement. Switch statement. Now, what the switch statement does here is that I'm going to comment this. It takes an expression, and then it takes brackets, and then based on the expression can be an int, a boolean. I guess Boolean really wouldn't work, but it could be a character or any of the other or the values you discussed. So int and character are about it, and I guess it could take yes, it could take. So far, that's what we've learned. And what it does is it looks at the value and compares it. And what you do is you make a case, and the case is like this. I put case, and then I put a value. And I'll just put a question mark, but this should be a value, and it's going to give me an error here. And then I put whatever this symbol is. God, I don't even know. I guess it's not a semicolon. It's you guys know what it is. I'm so bad at English. This is not good. But anyway, and then what I do is I can have multiple cases. So I can have a case for like let's say, I guess it's better if I just do an example. Let's say int I equals 0. And I want the switch to take in an expression, and I really should just say it takes in a variable, not an expression. And what it does is each case I'm going to say, hey, look for the case that the variable you passed in is equal to this. So this is the case for 1, this is the case for 2, and then I'll make another case for 3. And also, just like an else statement at the end of an else if statement, there is kind of the same thing where there's a default, whereas if all these cases fail, the default statement gets run. And so, as you can see here, they're separated by this symbol, which we will not talk about because I don't know English. And it will look at that. So in this case, I is 0, so none of these will run, so just the default statement will run. But let me put some code in this. This is Gucci because every day is Gucci. And then let me copy this, make it a little bit easier. And then this is Gucci default. This is Gucci 3, this is Gucci 2, and we'll put this as Gucci 1. Now, one thing I want to show you here is I'm going to make this 1, just for good cases. And what is it? What's the error? Oh, the word Gucci is not spelled correctly. Wow. Thank you, Eclipse. But anyway, can I change this? Back again. Now, what a switch statement does is that it looks through unlike the else if statement, if one of the statement gets executed, it doesn't break out of the whole conditional block. So for instance, so what will happen with this switch statement is that it will look at the variable I and it will say, okay, well, case 1, the case that the variable is equal to a value of 1, it will print out this is Gucci 1. Now, since case 1 is true, actually, all the other statements, maybe I can erase this, clear the console, all the other statements will execute as well. And basically, this is because if one of them is true, then it will continually print out all of them because there's nothing to stop it. Because once one of the statements is true, they will all be true. And as you can see, when I run this, all of them get printed out. And note that it's only the statements after the first true one. So let's say I switched case 1 with case 2. So now hopefully only these three statements will run. This is Gucci 2, this is Gucci 3, and this is Gucci default. And yes, they all run because once it reaches a true statement, it all will be true and all execute. Now, what if I wanted to stop that? Well, what I want to do is use a break statement. A break statement is another keyword in C, and it's in Java and some other languages, that basically will break out of the loop, so everything will not execute. So now that I put a break under case 1, once case 1 executes, it will break out of the switch statements, which means it will break out of these. Let me see if I can format this. No. It will break out of it will break out of these outer brackets. Sorry, I took my time because I wanted to format this, but essentially it will break out these brackets. So this can also be used in other loopings I will show later, but it is quite often you see that there is a break after each case statement because you want that to happen. You don't need a break after a default statement because that is the last statement anyway. So when I run this, only this is Gucci 2 will run because that is the only case, and then it will break out of the loop, which is nice to know. So, and also if I get rid of this break statement, that's a good question. Hopefully this is Gucci 2 and this is Gucci 3 will be the only things that execute. Yes, because once it gets to Gucci 3, it does break. And just to show you, let's make this 4. So int I is equal to 1, and so none of these values are true, so the default will only run, and this is Gucci default. So that's how the switch statement works. It works if you need a lot of conditions. So let's say I wanted to make a case from I from 0 through 10 because I wanted to do some age bracket of 0 through 10 and print out you're in kindergarten, you're in first grade, you're in second grade, you're in sixth grade, and other things of that sort. So yes, switch statements are pretty valuable. And remember to use the break statement and everything else. Thank you guys. Have a great, fantabulous day, and always keep trying.